Today I am going to discuss about Web API and how it is used in case of single page application in Angular, and what is the need of Web API if we have edu.net already and JDBC for Java and edu.net for .net and some other technology for different databases and applications. So why we are going for Web API? So let's discuss briefly why we are going to use Web API. So here in the image you are seeing there is a database. So previously what we are doing, whenever there is a application, we have a database here. That may be SQL Server and that may be Oracle. Okay, then we have edu.net and we have some ASP.NET page or any window form page. So previously we are using edu.net, okay, to fill this data. So we can fill data here or we can save the data from this form to the database using edu.net, and ASPX page is the user interface. But question arises, suppose we have this type of scenario. See, so previously before 10 or 15 years, what the company was doing, for example, we have a database in SQL Server or Oracle or any other like DB2 or any other long technology, we have database. Okay, suppose we have to design an application which can be run on Android mobile or Windows tablet or Windows desktop or Android tablet or iPhone. So for what the companies were doing before 10 or 15 years, they were recruiting people from different technology. Like they recruited a .NET developer 5, suppose 5 .NET developer, then 10 Android developer or 10 iOS developer and Android developer. Okay, so they have around 20 developers for a particular application. Okay, so that they will develop 3 different application which will be suitable for Windows, Android and iPhone. But it is a overhead to the company. They are giving more salary than maintenance, office space. So after that, getting that type of issue, so the technology developed by Google, they used Angular, okay, and so in case in Angular, what we are doing, so instead of hiring a .NET developer or Android developer, iOS developer, they hired suppose Angular developer. So once the application is written in Angular instead of .NET or Android or iOS, so only one language or one technology they are using to develop one application using Angular, and that Angular will use Web API instead of they are going for edu.net or JDBC or Objective-C for different technology. edu.net for connecting database for .NET, JDBC for connecting to database for Java technology, J2E. Similarly, Objective-C for iPhone. So instead of going for different language, they were using Angular and Web API, and Web API is connecting to the database. So that there will be only one technology and one technology people will be recruited. Okay, once a application is written, it can work on either Windows or Android or iPhone or any other Macintosh or any other OS that will be written. So we have to see what is the magic behind it so that it is working on all the operating system. Okay, so you see this image. Okay, this is explaining the things how we are doing this. Suppose we have a database here. So we are developing Web API. Okay, instead of we are going to instead of we are developing edu.net, JDBC or Objective-C, we are only developing Web API. Web API, it can be developed using .NET technology or Java or any other technology. But currently we will focus on .NET technology. So in .NET the Web API is ASP.NET MVC Web API, because in .NET the Web API is using the MVC architecture. Okay, so what it will do, the Web API will contact to the database. Okay, there will be a connection between Web API and database, maybe SQL Server or Oracle or any other Excel or Access. So this Web API will get data from database or save data to the database. Means this Web API will do the CRUD operation, CRUD. CRUD means create, read, update or delete. Any type of thing will be done in the table inside the database. So either it will create a data table or insert data or get data or update data. So API will do everything. Okay, and these are the devices which will connect to Web API. Okay, instead of their directly connecting to the database, they will connect to Web API. Okay, how they will connect? So they will connect through JSON object or JSON. You already know how JSON look like. I will show you JSON. So the JSON is like this. Suppose I want to know the temperature, highest and lowest temperature of the city Paris. So I will send a JSON data to the server. I will send a JSON data to the server, and in response we will also get a JSON data. Lowest temperature is 16, highest temperature is 23 degrees centigrade. So we will give the input here and we will get the output here. So all are in JSON format. So it is very lightweight because it is just text. It is a text string. Okay, so it is very lightweight. So the execution will be faster. Means the user will get the data very quickly. Okay, so once all type of devices like tablets which are using Android or Windows, then desktop, your PC, and this is the TV, Android TV, then iPhone. Then suppose any map, suppose you are using some car in driving device, direction device in your car, they can also use the JSON value easily. So all the data here in the red line, the data is in the form of JSON format or XML format. But basically people are using JSON, not developer are using JSON, not XML, because JSON is more lightweight than XML. So JSON, I have given the example. This is the JSON format. Okay. So so in the form of JSON, we can contact to Web API. We will give input to Web API and get output from the Web API in JSON format, both. So this is the Web API. Okay. So so that we are avoiding any particular operating system here. Okay, means suppose if there is a we are developing application, so for Windows, then in the previous case I am saying before 10 or 8 years ago, we have to use radio.net for Windows, JDBC for Android, Android, JDBC we can use, and or maybe any other technology, but Android is using Java technology, so JDBC also there. Then Objective-C. So instead of that, we are using Web API and JSON value we are passing. So we are so instead of 3 technology, radio.net, JDBC and Objective-C, we are using only 1 technology. So that very easy to maintain and the overhead will be less. So JSON will do everything here. So all device will use this. Okay, and then you just see the picture here. This is the API, and API is connecting to database. So all devices like Apple, Android, Windows, and all the browsers they are connecting to API, and the data is flowing as JSON to and fro. Then I will give some example of web API. Okay, so here is the example. I will go there. So I will copy this. This is a example of web API. Suppose I will do like this. I will paste here. This is the API, and the purpose of the API is, suppose I will give a name. Suppose I will give a name here. So it will say that which country this name belongs to. Okay. So I am here giving Sri Ram. I am giving enter. So this is the API, and I am passing the parameter name is equal to Sriram. So it is saying that this name belongs to country India. IN means India and probability 1. So I don't know exactly about probability, but it belongs to India. Suppose I will give one name Muhammad. So it is saying that it also belongs to India. Then suppose I will give a name John. It is saying that this name belongs to United States, John. Suppose I will give, for example, I will give the name like TRUMP, Trump. So it is saying that there is no data here, and same you can give many names. Like suppose I will give, suppose I will give Ching. So it is saying that Taiwan. So this name belongs to Taiwan. Okay. So if you'll see here, so it is a ready-made web API, and we can use this, so that suppose I will give a name here, I can show it everywhere, either in window application or in web application. So I will give an example here. So I will first create a window application, and I will show you how I can show, I can give a name, and it will show which country it belongs to. And the same thing, I will create a web application, and I will create a mobile application. Everywhere I can use the same API and get the same result. So I am going for a Windows Form app. So it is a desktop application, not web, not iPhone or phone application. It is a window application. So I will give here one text box and one button and one label, so that what will happen, I will give a name here, and I will click the button. It will show which country it belongs to. This name belongs to. Now I have a text box. Okay, so I am going to develop a window application or desktop application that will take the name, and when I click the button, it will show which country that name belongs to. So that's why I have written some code here. So this line of code I have written, and if you see here, I am not using edu.net to get the data. I am just calling using that HTTP client, okay, in .net. So I am giving the base address here. Okay, so we'll go here. This is the base address. Here to here, this is the base address, and this is the additional address. So I am giving the base address, then additional address is this one. So in text box, from the text box I am getting the name, then I am calling this. Okay, so let's run it. See, this is the window. So I am first typing, suppose JOHN, John. So it will show which country it belongs to. So I clicked here. So it is saying that John belongs to US. IM, I don't know what is the exact country name, IM and IE. Suppose I will give name AKSHY, Akshay. So it is not showing exactly. Akshay, AYA, Akshay. It is saying that belongs to India. Akshay belongs to India. Probability 1. And if I'll give name Alexei, it says country ID CMPH FN France. Okay, so it belongs to this country. CM, I don't know exactly country code, but France is here. So 3 countries it belongs to: PH, CR and France. Okay, so this is a desktop application. Similarly, I will write code for Angular also. In Angular also, I will use this type of thing, HTTP client type of thing, and there will be no ADO.NET. So that Angular application can be used in any type of operating system, maybe mobile, desktop, anything. Okay, so this is the example of why we are going for Web API. Okay, when we have discussed this, so in the next chapter we will got to know how we will develop Web API using .NET and MVC.